Hello guys, welcome to Behind the Crime Scene. Today's video is about something that has left even me staring at the screen going, wait, what did the locals just say? Because the rumour exploding across South Australia right now is wild. Locals near Oak Park Station are claiming, on social media, in groups, in private chats, that little Gus Lamont hadn't been seen for up to 6 months before he was even reported missing. 6 months. If even a small part of that is true, then this case is not just strange. It's not just suspicious. This becomes one of the most disturbing and fishiest missing child cases Australia has ever seen. And then guess what happens? Right after these rumours start blowing up online, the police quietly announce a fourth search, this time focusing on 6 old mine shafts on the property. So you tell me, is that a coincidence? Or are locals onto something big? Let's go behind the crime scene. Everything you're about to hear is my opinion, my analysis, and what the public is discussing. But wow, there's a lot to talk about. The new search, why 4 rounds and why now? Let's start with the latest update coming out of SA Police. They have returned to Oak Park Station again, that's right, for the 4th time. And this time, they're targeting 6 mine shafts they claim to have recently discovered. Recently discovered? On a property they've already searched with drones, dogs, trackers, helicopters and ground teams? It makes you wonder. Imagine how massive a detail must be for investigators to miss it 3 times. 6 open mine shafts, uncovered, unfenced, on a property where a child supposedly wandered off. Why were they overlooked? Who told police about them now? Were they listed anywhere? Did family members know about them? Did anyone mention them earlier? This is the kind of thing that makes the public go, something's not lining up. And again, all opinion. But you can see how easy it is for people to connect the dots. The rumour that changed everything. 6 months. Now let's talk about the rumour that kicked this whole update off. It started quietly, a few locals commenting that they hadn't seen Gus around in a long time. Then more locals chimed in. Then people from nearby communities added their own experiences. Then it spread across social media platforms. The same claim kept popping up. We haven't seen Gus for up to 6 months. 6 months is not a small error. 6 months is not, oh, maybe I forgot a few days. 6 months is half a year. That means if this rumour is true, the entire reported timeline collapses. The 27th of September, the Sandmound story, the 5 p.m. last sighting. The 30-minute window before they allegedly noticed he was gone. All of it becomes meaningless. Now, could locals be mistaken? Absolutely. Could this be gossip? Sure. Could people be mixing up dates? Possibly. But if police took it seriously enough to search 6 mine shafts, then clearly something about the rumour triggered them. And here's the clever question the audience needs to hear. If Gus was truly seen regularly before September, why can't anyone recall seeing him recently? A missing child timeline relies heavily on the last confirmed sighting, and right now, the last confirmed sighting seems suspiciously vague. Is it because nobody saw him, or because nobody was supposed to? Again, opinion, but the timing of everything is extremely convenient. The vanishing mother. Where is Jessica? Let's talk about one of the biggest red flags. Gus's mother, Jessica, and her younger child, Ronnie, have not been seen publicly for 60 days. 60. Think about that. A mother reports her 4-year-old missing and then disappears. Who does that? What mother hides during the most critical months of her child's disappearance? Mothers in genuine distress do not go offline for 2 months. They don't vanish. They don't avoid authorities. They don't refuse to speak. They scream. They cry. They beg the public to help. But Jessica, gone, silent, invisible. Not a photograph, not a statement, not a sighting. And again, this is just opinion. But behaviour speaks louder than words. Why would she go MIA at the exact moment people needed answers? Is she scared, avoiding questions, being protected, or is she simply not around for reasons nobody wants to talk about? This is the part where viewers start typing comments faster than I can read them. The pattern no one can ignore. There's something investigators quietly talk about behind closed doors, a pattern that shows up in many missing child cases. When the people who report someone missing suddenly disappear themselves, not as missing persons, but as in they stop being reachable, the percentage of cases that end in guilty findings is shockingly high. Again, not an accusation, but the pattern exists. So when we look at the Lamont-Murray family and realize the mother is gone, the father rarely speaks, the grandparents refuse to say a word, nobody in that household is cooperating publicly, it becomes impossible not to wonder. Is this family avoiding the spotlight because they know the truth would hurt them? The shotgun incident. Still unforgettable. Let's revisit the unforgettable moment when the transgender grandparent, Josie, stormed out of the house waving a pump-action shotgun at a Daily Mail reporter. The yelling, the threats, the forced retreat. This was the world's first glimpse into how the family reacts to scrutiny and the excuse. They claimed the shotgun was for a snake. That's the story. And look, you can believe whatever you want, but at some point, you have to ask, what kind of person handles snakes and journalists the same way? If you're innocent, you want the media talking. You want the public engaged. You want every camera possible pointing at your child's face. You don't want silence. You don't want isolation. And you definitely don't want a shotgun. This behavior isn't normal. This isn't how an innocent family typically responds. In my opinion, it's another giant red flag waving in the wind. The father's role. The silence continues. Now let's take a moment for the father, Josh. People often forget that the father wasn't told about Gus's disappearance until 3 hours after police were called, which means he didn't learn about his son going missing until 6 hours after the initial event. 6 hours. Why didn't the family call him immediately? Why did police have to notify him instead? And why isn't he speaking out now? Fathers of missing children are usually loud, emotional, active, desperate. Josh is none of those things. He's just present, quiet, background noise. And look, maybe that's just his personality. Maybe he doesn't like attention. Maybe he grieves differently. But when you pair that with everything else, it becomes noticeable. Very noticeable. The 5-day delay in providing a photo. Another detail that people keep forgetting. Police didn't receive a photo of Gus until 5 days after he was reported missing. 5 days. How do you explain that? A missing child case depends heavily on photos. It's one of the first things police ask for. Yet the family didn't hand one over for almost a week. Why? Were they unprepared? Did they not have recent photos? Was there confusion? Or something else? Ask yourself, how many parents out there do not have instant access to photos of their child? Exactly. Opinion again. But this delay feels too strange to ignore. The second disappearance. What about Benjamin? Let's not forget the car called in for driving erratically on the same day Gus went missing. The abandoned vehicle. The missing owner, Benjamin. The overlapping location, the overlapping timeline. Is it connected, or the strangest coincidence of the year? Police haven't given an answer, and the family has said nothing. But it's hard to ignore the timing. One disappearance on a remote outback route is strange enough. 2 on the same day? Yeah, I'll let you ponder that one. The William Tyrrell parallel again. People keep comparing this case to William Tyrrell's, and honestly, the similarities are piling up. In William's case, investigators regretted focusing too much on searching and not enough on investigating. Here, once again, huge search efforts, massive resources. Drones, trackers, helicopters, but little focus on the people closest to the child. Why is the most obvious angle being ignored? Why does the land keep getting searched while the family avoids every microphone? Imagine if investigators had asked the why question early in William's case. Are they repeating the same mistake? Again, just opinion. But history has a way of repeating itself. The zero evidence problem. Here's the cold, hard truth. There is no evidence, not one piece, that Gus wandered off. Not one. No footprints, no drag marks, no clothing, no remains. No animal evidence, no kidnapper evidence, no tracks. And the best Aboriginal trackers in Australia found nothing. Nothing. This isn't normal. Not for a wandering child. Not for an animal attack. Not for a kidnapping. This is the kind of nothing you get when something is staged. When a disappearance is not a disappearance, but a reveal of something that happened much earlier. And that circles back to the locals' claim. 6 months. 6 months with no sightings. 6 months without anyone noticing Gus. 6 months is enough time for anything to happen, and everything to be covered up. The mine shafts, the final piece. Police say the 6 mine shafts are between 5.5 km and 12 km from the home. Originally, investigators said Gus couldn't walk that far. Now, they're implying he might have. Is that because they genuinely believe it? Or because they're trying to explain why they're suddenly searching so far out? It's interesting timing, isn't it? These shafts were apparently overlooked. They weren't part of previous searches. They weren't listed publicly. Yet now, after the 6-month rumour, they're a priority. Coincidence or a sign that the official timeline is unravelling? Closing thoughts and a call to action. Listen, everything said here is opinion, but these are the patterns, behaviours and clues that true crime investigators pay attention to. A silent family, a missing mother, a non-responsive father, a shotgun incident, missing photos, delayed notifications, zero evidence, locals claiming 6 months. New mine shafts suddenly discovered, and a second missing person. This case is getting stranger by the day, and now I want to hear from you. Do you believe the locals? Do you think Gus was missing longer than reported? Do you trust the timeline? Do you think foul play is involved? Drop your thoughts below. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching.